We all know the story. An apple falls and Sir Isaac Newton discovers gravity. It's etched into our history books. But what if I told you that nearly 500 years before Newton, an Indian mathematician had already mentioned the concept of gravity in his book, the Siddhanta Shiromani? Europe experienced a remarkable burst of scientific advancement during the 17th and 18th centuries after Dark Age. India's scientific heritage wasn't a sudden awakening. The golden age of Indian mathematics had so many legends, right from Aryabhatta in 5th century to Brahmagupta in 7th century. Then there was Bhaskara I in 7th century, who built extensively on Aryabhatta's work. Bhaskara too inherited this legacy, refined it, and pushed its boundaries. And yet, he did not emerge in a vacuum. He stood on the shoulder of giants before him. This is the story of one of the greatest mathematicians of India, Bhaskara too. India in the 12th century was a land of vibrant cultural, social, and intellectual life. Mathematics and astronomy were highly advanced, and Sanskrit literature was flourishing, and temples, culture, and drama filled the land with creativity. The political landscape was fragmented, with the Rajputs in the north and Chalukyas and Cholas in the south trying to control over their regions. This was different from the consolidated empire we have seen in the Gupta period. However, this period fostered the centers of learning and patronized scholars, and hence science and literature flourished. Towards the end of 12th century, it was marked by Muslim invasions, notably by Muhammad Ghori and his successors in northern part of India. South India was insulated by miles and geographical barriers. And from 14th century onwards, the Kerala school of astronomy and mathematics carried forward the work done by the earlier mathematicians like Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta and Bhaskaracharya. In this vibrant world, a boy named Bhaskar was born in the 12th century in a village Bidur in today's Bijapur in Karnataka. He was known as Bhaskar Acharya, which means Bhaskara the teacher. He came from the family of Deshta Brahmin, where mathematics and astronomy were part of everyday life. For his family, knowledge was not just tradition, it was a part of everyday life, where knowledge was passed from one generation to the other generation. At the center of this tradition lies the center of institutes of great learning, and the most prominent among them was the Ujjain Astronomical Observatory. Now, think of it as the Silicon Valley of its time, where the brightest minds used to come together to unlock the secret of numbers, planets, and universe. Now, Bhaskaracharya would one day rise to become the head of the Ujjain Astronomical Observatory. Now, here he didn't just step into the footsteps of giants like Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, and Varamira. He preserved their knowledge, he defined it, refined it, expanded it, and added his own brilliance in the story of Indian mathematics. Our journey into the life of Bhaskaracharya begins with his most famous work, Leelavati. According to the Persian translation of Leelavati, Bhaskaracharya once studied the horoscope of his daughter and found that she would be widowed early unless she was married at the auspicious time. To know the correct time, he devised a clever water clock. So he placed a cup with a hole in a vessel full of water. So now when the cup would sink, he would know the exact time to marry. Now what happened is curiosity took the better of young Leelavati. So she peered over the device and a pearl from her nose fell into the cup and somehow disturbed the mechanism. So the auspicious time was not predicted and she got married and soon widowed. Now to console the young and bright Leelavati, Bhaskaracharya promised that her name will live on, and hence he titled his next book, which is Leelavati. Now let's take a question from this particular book of Leelavati from Bhaskaracharya's most famous work. Now here the interesting thing is Bhaskaracharya discussed an interesting method called as inversion. Let's see this method. You start from the number 5 and then square it, which gives you 25. Then when you go back, instead of making it half, you double it. So it becomes 50. Now instead of dividing by 3 by 5, you will multiply with 3 by 5. So 50 by 3 by 5, you get 30. Then instead of increasing by 5, you decrease by 5. And then instead of squaring, you take the square root. Yes. And then instead of multiplying by 3, you divide by 3. And then multiply by 7. Now you get the answer as 35 by 3. Why don't you try this question again from Leelavati? This can again be done in the same way, which is the method of inversion. Make sure that you write the answer in the comments. Bhaskaracharya's true monumental work is Siddhanta Shiromani, which reveals the full breadth of his genius. Along with Leelavati, which is an arithmetic puzzle in verses, the Siddhanta Shiromani also contains Bijaganit, which is a treatise on algebra, Grahaganit, which is the mathematics of the planets, and Goladhyay, which is on spherical trigonometry and cosmology. In his algebraic treatise Bijaganit, Bhaskaracharya uses the example of Lord Vishnu to describe infinity. This poetic and philosophical comparison shows his advanced understanding of mathematical infinity and mirrors the religious imagery of his era. Bhaskaracharya conquered one of the most challenging problems in algebra, indeterminate equations. He provided a general solution to what we now call Pell's equation. This method was called Chakravala or cyclic method. It's an iterative process that repeatedly refines an initial guess to arrive at integer solutions. This method of solving Pell's equation by Bhaskara is hailed as one of the most sophisticated achievements, developed centuries before similar work by European mathematicians. Consider this exact problem was later posed as a challenge by the French mathematician Pierre de Fermat in the 17th century. Bhaskaracharya Grahaganita is dedicated to planetary astronomy and offers a detailed understanding of the motions and positions of celestial bodies. In Goladhyay, Bhaskaracharya explores spherical trigonometry for calculating positions of heavenly bodies. Bhaskaracharya developed these concepts of calculus like differentiation, integration, and limits 500 years before the European mathematicians. However, he did not formalize it as a separate branch of mathematics, and it did not put any symbols or explain it further. In fact, he used it as a tool to explain concepts in astronomy. Bhaskaracharya would no doubt be remembered as one of the greatest mathematicians of India. In his book Siddhanta Shiromani, he clearly explains the practical aspects of trade and commerce. He dabbled in nearly all parts of mathematics, right from arithmetic, algebra, calculus, geometry, 3D bodies, planetary motions, in fact, even arithmetic progressions and permutation and combination. Bhaskaracharya's legacy lies in his role as a discoverer and a synthesizer. He forged the scattered work of earlier mathematicians and forged into a coherent systematic body of knowledge. Bhaskaracharya's idea did not end in his lifetime. His work was carried forward by the Kerala school, where the mathematician did remarkable work in calculus and infinite series. Bhaskaracharya's work was studied for centuries in India, and later it also influenced Islamic mathematicians, which led to the global flow of his work. Now, his mathematical work was understood by Europe in the early 19th century through the efforts of this Englishman, Henry Thomas Colebrook. Bhaskaracharya's journey shows that India's scientific heritage was not a sudden spark, but it was a continuous flame that was carried forward for centuries. Bhaskaracharya's story matters as India explores its ambitious space program, and hence to recognize his contribution, two of the satellites were named Bhaskara 1 and Bhaskara 2 by ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. However, it is so surprising that students don't know the name or work of Bhaskaracharya in Indian classroom. Students should have an idea about how mathematics flourished and evolved over centuries in India, so that they can finally take pride in their roots And in fact, rather than just becoming a passive learners, they contribute, they invent and discover more. If you want to know more about mathematicians of 7th century Brahmagupta or 14th century Madhava, you can check out the videos on the screen. If you have any insights about Bhaskaracharya, I would love to hear from you. Please share in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.